Hey guys, Fred and Sheila McCoy, Hatfield McCoy Museum, FredMcCoy.com. Sheila's behind the camera.
Hi guys, hope you're having a great day.
We're almost finished with this series. We're just going around and doing different videos on different topics that's been shown or said on some of these Facebook pages. And if you, like I was saying, if you can't beat them, join them, and that's what we feel like. We don't seem like we're making no headway trying to correct history or correct these old myths and stories from the past. So we figure, hey, when they post these stories or somebody sends them to us, we'll just do a story on it with the truth. We'll tell you the other side. And then it's up to you to research or whatever. Sheila posts whatever legal documents she can at the end of it to prove our point. The bad thing is, when something didn't happen, there's nothing to show you. There's no evidence. When somebody says Perry Klein sued Devil Anse Hatfield, or Devil Anse sued Perry Klein, or Randall McCoy sued Devil Anse, or Randall McCoy stole Devil Anse's property and was taken to court, or Sam and Paris McCoy stood trial and they were found not guilty, or when they tell you things like that and there's no evidence to prove, then it didn't happen. So it's hard for Sheila and I to show you evidence of something when it's not there. It's a bear tale.
Okie doke.
Finishing up, who won the Hatfield feud is even argued to this day, Bill Richardson says. By all definitions, the Hatfields came out on top, says Richardson. But here's the thing, if it happened today, the Hatfields would be the ones that everybody thought, these people need to go to jail. And that's what happened in the end of the story. No, that's not what happened at the end of the story. End of the story, there was 8 of them went to jail. 1 of them hung. But what happened to Devil Anse Hatfield? The hero that Mr. Richards helps West Virginia to create. What happened to Cap Hatfield? Murderer. What happened to Elliot Hatfield? Murderer. What happened to Robert E. Lee Hatfield? Murderer. They went free. They went unpunished. They're on the warrants, they're on the charges, they're in the statements. They went free. And you know who won the feud? We've got a page in our book, our big book. Front page says, who won the feud? Wait till you get to the last page and you'll find out. Well, on the last page it says, no one. Nobody won the feud. Randall McCoy lost half his family, had a miserable life. Miserable. More than one man should have to ever endure.
I agree. I
can't imagine losing one child. Can you imagine? And then the torment and the second guessing. If I'd only done this, if I'd only done that, maybe if I would have. There wasn't no winning. You can't win against the devil. When this man got with a bunch of people, he had that little man syndrome. He had Napoleon syndrome, and he was a big man in a little body. And he liked that. And he liked to get his way. So there was no winning. Randall McCoy couldn't win with Devil Anse. Devil Anse was jealous of Randall McCoy in every way that you could. He was jealous of his height. He was jealous of his family life, the closeness that he had with his family, his morals, that he stayed and fought in the Civil War while he chickened out and ran. It was completely opposite. It wasn't, as Altina Waller says, it says, Devil Anse was more prosperous than Randall McCoy, and Randall was just jealous. No, Randall wasn't jealous of Devil Anse Hatfield. It was the other way around. And you can't instill guts. You can't instill intestinal fortitude in somebody. You can't instill morals and character and honor and the traits that Randall McCoy had that have been stolen away and taken away through the years. And people just let it go. His own kin would rather take up with the Hatfields to get up on TV stations or in the newspapers, standing there shaking hands with people that's not even related. Woman told us the other day when this one came in there and started giving history lessons for the Pike County tourism and talking and making videos. He didn't even know where Cap Hatfield was buried. Didn't know where Devil Anse was. He was born in Detroit, Michigan, raised up all over the place. He's a spokesman for the Pike County Tourism. She says he come in there and she met him and took him around and showed him where the Hatfield Cemetery was, where Cap was buried. Sheila's shaking her head. Yes, she knows.
I agree. That's why
she knows. She knows what people tells us. The same people tells us other things. That's why we ask for certain things throughout life. Why we ask for DNA testing. There's all kinds of things, but we can't get on a video and say, we don't know. We don't even care if we're right or wrong. It doesn't matter to us. We just want the truth. We'd like to know who some of these people are related to. We'd like to know who Devil Anse was related to, because they have a problem with his DNA. William Anderson Devil Anse Hatfield died of pneumonia in 1921 in his cabin in Logan County, West Virginia. He was 88 years old. He's buried under a life-size marble statue in a cemetery near Saran, West Virginia, Logan County. He's buried under a monument that he bought and paid for. He bought and paid for that monument. He had it inscribed with Captain. That was him that done that. Read Life magazine. Joe Hatfield, the sheriff, Logan County, tells Life magazine his dad said, pulled it up on the hill with 2 mules. Said this would be a good dry place for a grave. A grave. Now this is a historian. Get your calculator out there and take 1921 and subtract 1839. Devil Anse was born in 1839. Take your calculator. 1921, 1839. It should come out. It should come out. And just in case I'm wrong here, let's just see. 1921 minus 1839.
82.
Why would this gentleman say Devil Anse was 88 years old when he died? No, he was 82 years old. But why would he say he's 88? Well, Randall McCoy died in 1914 after being severely burned in a cooking fire. He was 88 years old. He's buried in a small plot in Pikeville, Kentucky. Small plot, buried in one of the biggest cemeteries in Pikeville, Deal's Cemetery. Deal's let anybody be buried there that asked or wanted to be. Randall McCoy was 88 years old when he died, so they had to come down here and make Devil Anse where he lived. He was 88 too. Yeah, he lived the same amount of time. And he died peacefully in his sleep and all this and that of pneumonia. Yeah. Well, I'm glad he did.
Do you want to tell what we found out about his monument, or you want to do a different video on that?
We'll do a different video. Okay. I'll say that in 2 or 3 videos. Don't let me forget that. Let it be our next video.
Okay.
You know, Randall McCoy died, they say, from falling in a fire. A fire was the Hatfields, the West Virginia Hatfields, MO. That's what they did. They burnt things down. That's what Cap was mean. And different ones, and Cap always swore that he would get Randall McCoy. I don't know what happened there. I know, you know, some of these guys say Randall McCoy ran from the cabin, left everybody in the cabin. Did he? Guess who Randall McCoy was living with at the time when he died? Guess who was taking care of Randall McCoy? Melvin. Melvin McCoy. Little Melvin. Little 7-year-old Melvin McCoy that Randall helped get out of the cabin burning that night when they were shooting.
His grandson, yeah.
And run him off into the woods where they could hide. His grandson. Tolbert's son. Right. Melvin and Cora. After Tolbert was killed, he helped raise Melvin and Cora. And in the end, Melvin took care of Randall McCoy, his grandpa. Do you really think that had the little 7-year-old boy saw his grandpa take off and run into the woods and hide while the grandma's been beat, 2 children's been killed, the grandkids are hiding in a burning house? Do you really think that he would grow up and take care of his old grandfather? It says on his death certificate, Burns and senility. Senility. Just like his father had, Daniel McCoy. Daniel McCoy, the one that divorced his wife when he was 85 years old. They've been married 55 years and he gets a divorce. Don't know what he's doing.
Exactly.
Senility. Dementia.
Yeah.
We know all about it. Sheila and I know all about it. The Hatfield-McCoy rivalry as it was first portrayed by New York reporter T.C. Crawford in the 1800s, was a case of barbarian carried out between two warring factions deep in the hills of Appalachia. Really? Really? What are you grinning at? My reading? My reading?
You do better than me.
I
don't like to read in public.
I can't hardly see it, to tell you the truth. But
oh, I'm sorry.
two warring factions. Were they two, or were they one that was a bully? Were they one side, the Hatfield gang, that were bullies, warring with the McCoys? Randall McCoy's home in bed asleep, him and his family.
Yep, had no idea.
He's home in bed asleep. They ain't bothering nobody. Come in there and set your house on fire and start shooting at you. T.C. Crawford's one of the people that got it right, guys. We got a segment of about 7 or 8 videos. T.C. Crawford. If you want to know about the feud and what T.C. Crawford thought, T.C. Crawford and Sam McCoy is your two best sources to go to if you want to know about the feud. Sam McCoy was there. He wrote a book on it. T.C. Crawford was there. He interviewed Devil Anse, Cat, all these guys. He interviewed them. Crawford's reporting later gathered in a book, An American Vendetta, went even further in portraying the people of the area as uneducated, uncivilized, and unsophisticated. Who's he talking about? T.C. Crawford. Unsophisticated, uncivilized, uneducated. Who's he talking about? He didn't talk to Randall McCoy. Randall McCoy, nobody on the Kentucky side talked to T.C. Crawford. Only people he visited was Devil Anse Hatfield, Cap Hatfield, the Hatfield gang. That's it. So why this person wants to portray like he got that from that area? No. Randall McCoy didn't tie no people up to trees and strip them down naked and kill them. Randall McCoy didn't shoot no Hatfields as they swum across the river. Guys, you got one side of the story here. You've heard it all your life. And it's time, please share these videos. These are not that entertaining, I'm sure, but they are educational.
Yeah.
They are educational, and that's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to be entertaining. We're going to get the adventure part in here eventually, Sheila and I. We're going to travel some and do some things, hopefully if my back gets better. But this is for educational purposes, so you'll know the facts of what happened here. Unsophisticated. Devil Anse standing there in his bibbed overalls, a pistol in one hand and a shotgun in the other. Beard, old scraggly beard, hat on, just how much? That was the father. That's the godfather of the word hillbilly, hills. Wilm Anderson Hatfield. Bill for short. From the hills, and his name's Bill. Hillbilly. Where's Hillbilly at today? Where's that old hillbilly I was talking to yesterday? Oh, you mean Devil Anse? Much of the world came to know West Virginia, Kentucky, and all the Appalachian as an area hopelessly lost in time, beset with violence, inbreeding, and lawlessness. Crawford's reporting of the Hatfields and McCoys is credited with polarizing and the image of the toothless, simpleton hillbilly. Okay. Let's drop the Kentucky off there if you want. He didn't come to Kentucky. T.C. Crawford didn't come to Kentucky. T.C. Crawford didn't interview anybody in Kentucky. See, it's funny how they don't mind involving Kentucky with Devil Anse Hatfield when it's something bad. He's an entrepreneur. When they can tell you he's an entrepreneur, they don't mention Kentucky or Randall McCoy or nobody. But boy, when it's bad, hillbillies from Kentucky and West Virginia, hopelessly lost in time, beset with violence, inbreeding, and lawlessness. Crawford's reporting on the Hatfields and McCoys is credited. What? I might better go read that book. I've read it about 7 or 8 times in life. I might better read it again because I don't remember him writing about the McCoys. He wrote about the Hatfields, the West Virginia Hatfields. The West Virginia Hatfields, not the Kentucky Hatfields, not the Kentucky McCoys. He wrote about the West Virginia Devil Anse Hatfield family. And that's where he got the Hillbilly from. That's where he got the inbreeding. Remember Cat and Nancy, cousins, Harriet, Ellison, cousins. Guys, there's more. There's more. I won't go in it. It'd be nice to see some DNA someday. Do you think that when somebody asks for DNA and nobody wants to take a DNA, do you think that maybe there's something there? Wouldn't that raise your curiosity a little bit? I could be wrong. I say it on every video. We could be wrong. If we're wrong, please prove us wrong. We don't care to be wrong. I don't care. I just like to know. And there's enough in history with Cotton Top and different ones that it at least raises suspicions. And along with this DNA stuff that these people have contacted us years ago, they've kicked them off these sites. They won't even let them on some of these sites. They kicked them off because they was asking and showing some of their proof on a Y DNA. We'd like to know some of these people's Y DNA. We'd like to know Devil Anse's Y DNA. We've discussed that. I gotta hurry up here. This is the last one. Once Crawford got a hold of the Hatfield McCoy story through the image change, that image has endured. Bugs Bunny, hillbilly hairs, Hatfield McCoy, complete with beard, bare feet, overhaul wiring, moonshine chugging, trigger happy hicks. Well, who did he just describe? Who did this historian just describe? Hatfields and McCoys. See, leave McCoys out there. Let's just put Hatfields, West Virginia Hatfields, complete with bearded, bare feet, overhaul wearing, moonshine chugging, trigger happy hicks. Who is that? Randall McCoy's always in a suit. You don't have the 3 or 4 pictures of him, but he's always in a vest and suit. Every fall, the Hatfield McCoy Heritage Day's homecoming in Pikeville, Kentucky is attended by descendants of the families and curious visitors as a celebration of peace made between the Hatfields and McCoys. Guys, peace was made. There's always been peace from the time a kid growing up. There's been peace back home. Hatfields and McCoys. There was peace between the Hatfields and McCoys forever until the Pike County Tourism had this big idea that let's promote the Hatfield McCoy feud. Now, way back in 1980, somewhere in that area, West Virginia, Mingo County, Wilson, I remember I was younger, and they used to have a King Cove festival every year. That one year, they changed it to the Hatfield McCoy celebration. I think they locked 32 people up. I think they locked 32 people. I think my brother was one of them, my older brother. 32 people they locked up down there at Wilson for fighting and carrying on. They got drunk. A bunch of them got into it over the Hatfield McCoy feud. They never called it that no more. They went back to calling it the King Cove Festival. Wow. Could be wrong. If I am, please correct me. But I remember it. Then later on in the 90s, late 90s, 97, 98, they had this big idea. We're going to bring tourism to Pike County. We're going to have Hatfields and McCoy tourism. Well, you've got it. You've got it. And you've got people, no local people wanting to get involved. No local Hatfields and McCoys because we know it causes hard feelings. Nobody wanted involved. So they bring one from Huntington, West Virginia, Waynesboro, Virginia, McCoy from North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina, McCoy from Waycross, Georgia, Hatfield from Detroit, Michigan that now lives in Oklahoma. They happen to have the Hatfields and McCoys names. No DNAs. We don't even know who we're dealing with. I see you, but I'm just asking. I've had a DNA. I'm not asking people to do something I haven't done. If you're going to speak up on behalf of Hatfields and McCoys, take a DNA. Let people know who you are and where you stand and who you're related to. And I'll stop. The locals have even come to embrace the story. No, we haven't. No, the locals haven't. You go into the coal fields, southern West Virginia, Devil Anse Hatfield is seen as almost a mythical figure in that area. Everybody in southern West Virginia somehow or another claims to be related to Devil Anse Hatfield. Well, I'm related to him a little bit, but I'd rather not admit it. I'm related to Preacher Anse Hatfield a lot. That's my great-great-grandfather. I have no desire to be related to Devil Anse Hatfield. Who would? Who would? Or if you are, if I was related to Devil Anse Hatfield more than I am, distant cousin, but if I was related to all these people that says, oh, we love Devil Anse, he was a hero, I'd say it was the meanest SOB that ever walked. I'd tell it like it is for him. I'd say he was a thief, he was a coward, but he was mean. He had power in numbers. Guys, Sheila will do the closing on it.
Hi guys, hope you're having a great day. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.